Billions poured into massive, futuristic airports, yet many of them sit almost empty. Meanwhile, other countries can't even handle the crowds in their aging terminals. It doesn't make sense, right? Some nations spend endlessly and still fall behind, while others quietly rise to dominate the skies. This isn't just about airplanes or airports. It's about power, politics, and control. Because in Central Asia, the real battle isn't happening on the ground. It's unfolding above the clouds. Today, we're uncovering why Kazakhstan is becoming the region's unexpected aviation giant and why Turkmenistan's billion-dollar airport remains eerily silent. What's happening in the air right now could redefine the future balance of power across the entire region. Stay with me till the end. And if you love stories that expose the hidden forces shaping our world, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss what's coming next. 8. The origins. When all flights led to Moscow, to understand Central Asia's aviation today, we need to go back in time. Before 1991, there were no Air Astana, Uzbekistan Airways, or Soman Air. Everything operated under one giant system, Aeroflot. Each Soviet republic had its own branch of civil aviation, yet all major decisions, routes, and ticket prices were dictated by Moscow. Planes connected even small provincial towns directly to the Soviet capital, but this system lacked creativity and competition. There was no commercial freedom or innovation. After the Soviet Union collapsed, every new nation inherited old Soviet fleets, limited technical capacity, and massive financial uncertainty. They were left to rebuild their aviation industries from scratch, often with outdated aircraft and minimal global experience. 7. The 1990s. Turbulence after takeoff. The 1990s were a decade of turbulence for Central Asian aviation. Economies were unstable, spare parts were scarce, and jet fuel became an expensive luxury. Many newly formed airlines barely managed to survive. Some relied on seasonal migrant routes to Russia, while others sustained themselves through sporadic charter flights and government subsidies. Airports across the region aged faster than they could be modernized, and safety standards dropped sharply. The dream of open skies quickly turned into a fight just to stay in the air. Yet, by the early 2000s, slow progress began. Western jets like Boeing and Airbus started replacing Soviet aircraft. Pilots received new training, and countries gradually began shaping their own national aviation identities. 6. Turkmenistan. Infrastructure without freedom. Our journey begins with Turkmenistan, a nation where aviation stands as both a symbol of pride and a paradox of isolation. Turkmenistan Airlines is still the only major carrier operating under full state control. The aviation market remains tightly closed, and foreign partnerships are almost non-existent. In 2016, the country unveiled a massive new international airport in Ashgabat, designed to handle millions of passengers annually. Yet most terminals remain eerily quiet, with few international flights and minimal transit traffic. Despite having world-class infrastructure, strict policies and limited openness keep the skies underused. Here, flying isn't a business strategy, it's a demonstration of national prestige, where infrastructure outpaces freedom and control outweighs opportunity. 5. Tajikistan. One carrier, many challenges. Next, we move to Tajikistan, a country where the skies remain functional but fragile. Its main airline, Soman Air, founded in 2008, became the national carrier after Tajik Air's decline. The airline operates a modest fleet of Boeing 737s, flying mainly to Russia, Turkey, and Germany, routes that largely serve labor migrants and returning families. A new terminal in Dushanbe, built with Japanese support, represents ambition and modernization, yet much of its potential is still untapped. Tajikistan's aviation is operational but vulnerable, limited by geography, fuel costs, and weak demand. Its airlines are doing their best to keep the country connected, but without diversification or open sky reforms, true expansion remains grounded. 4. Kyrgyzstan. Progress with barriers. Kyrgyzstan tells a different story, one of energy and potential held back by regulation. Several airlines like Avia Traffic Company, Tezjet, and Air Manas compete for a growing market. Bishkek's Manas International Airport is buzzing with tourism, cargo shipments, and travelers heading to destinations like Isikkul Lake, one of the region's most scenic attractions. The country's relaxed visa policy draws visitors from across Asia, giving Kyrgyz aviation a valuable edge. Yet a major obstacle persists. Every Kyrgyz airline is banned from flying to the European Union due to safety oversight concerns. This restriction limits partnerships, growth, and credibility abroad. If the government fixes safety supervision, Kyrgyzstan could quickly evolve into a vital transit hub between East and West. 3. Kazakhstan, the model of modern aviation. Kazakhstan stands as the region's most developed aviation power and a model of consistent progress. Air Astana, launched in 2001 through a partnership between the government and British investors, redefined post-Soviet aviation. The airline quickly gained international respect for safety, punctuality, and service quality. Its fleet, featuring Airbus A321LRs and Boeing 767s, connects the nation not only to its neighbors, but also to major hubs across Europe and Asia. The creation of Fly Aristan, Central Asia's first true low-cost carrier, revolutionized local travel and democratized flying for millions. Meanwhile, major airports in Almaty and Astana have undergone expansions to handle record passenger numbers. Kazakhstan has built a system that rivals global standards. Its skies symbolize stability, efficiency, and ambition in a region still finding its balance. 2. Uzbekistan, the fastest rise in the region. If Kazakhstan represents maturity, Uzbekistan represents momentum. Uzbekistan Airways, established in 1992, long dominated the country's skies. But after 2019, reforms began transforming the entire industry under an open sky policy. This decision sparked a wave of innovation and competition. New private airlines like Centrum Air, Silk Avia, and Air Samarkand entered the scene, reshaping what air travel looks like in the country. Modern terminals like Samarkand's stunning new airport and Tashkent's ongoing upgrades reflect Uzbekistan's vision to become Central Asia's aviation hub. Growth hasn't been without turbulence. Staffing shortages, delayed flights, and maintenance pressure persist. But the country's progress is undeniable. Uzbekistan is modernizing faster than any of its neighbors, positioning itself as the next big name in regional aviation. 1. The bigger picture. Who rules Central Asia's skies? Today, the skies of Central Asia tell a story that's much bigger than air travel. They reflect each nation's political will, economic power, and vision for the future. Turkmenistan shows how isolation limits potential. Tajikistan highlights the struggle of small markets. Kyrgyzstan demonstrates the challenge of credibility. Kazakhstan sets the gold standard for quality and safety, while Uzbekistan races forward with bold reforms and record growth. Together, these countries form a patchwork of ambition, rivalry, and transformation. The region's airspace is becoming one of the most competitive crossroads between Europe and Asia. As the world's focus shifts eastward, Central Asia's skies are no longer quiet. They're alive with opportunity, connection, and the promise of a new aviation frontier. Central Asia's skies are no longer silent. They're alive with ambition, competition, and transformation. The real question isn't who has more flights today, but who's shaping the future of flight for tomorrow. Will Uzbekistan rise to challenge Kazakhstan's dominance, or will Kazakhstan's early lead keep it at the top of the region's aviation map? I want to hear your take. Who do you think truly controls the skies of Central Asia? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this breakdown gave you a new way to look at the region, hit the like button, share it with someone who loves global stories, and subscribe so you never miss our next deep dive into the systems shaping our world. Stay tuned. The next story is already cleared for takeoff.